Hello, Mr. Rivera.
Hey, how you doing, man?
I'm doing good. Thanks for meeting with me today. How long have you been in this home of yours?
Well, we've been here for about 10 years now.
Okay. And do you like the neighborhood?
Yeah, I absolutely love it. It's very quiet.
Okay. And you plan on sticking around for a while?
Yeah, we'll probably be here for the next 10 years.
Okay. And, is this the first time that you've been looking into solar, or have you looked into solar in the past?
Yes, somebody came once, but he didn't seem that knowledgeable. He was like rushing. I didn't like the feel of it. And yeah, I didn't proceed.
Okay. And what made you look into solar before?
Well, I like the savings part. Eh, If I could save probably like $20 to $30 a month, that would be okay.
Okay. And by any chance, do you remember who you sat with or what the experience was like?
Yeah, he was very he was like rushing. He didn't explain as well, so it just didn't feel right.
Okay. And what made you look into solar again this time?
Well, bills went up this summer. Bills went up a little bit too much, so I decided to give it another shot.
Okay. And what do you think would make you guys want to go solar?
Yeah, if I could save like from $30 to $40, that'll be okay.
Okay. And let's see here. Now, when you say a little money, like you're going to be saving a little money, have you guys talked about that? Because it's different for everyone. What does that mean to you?
Yeah, like I said, $30 to $40 would be a pretty good amount of money, so I could be set with that.
Okay. And I just want to know if there's any other concerns you guys have. Let me see. And if there's anything else any other questions you may have.
Well, I don't like the part of paying two bills. And a neighbor of mine said that he was paying two bills, and I don't find that good at all. Like I think the whole point of going solar is just to eliminate the utility bill. So I don't know. I
Okay.
don't think. Yeah.
Okay. Um, so, Mr. Rivera, if there was a program where you can go solar now, where you could save, $30 to $40 and you can eliminate that, double bills and etc. Um, if that would help you, uh,
Would I go for it? Yeah, I would. I would go for it.
okay,
That sounds good.
all right. Let's see. Well, I don't know what we could do yet. So we'd see what your house or home can actually qualify for. And we work with different programs, quite several of them. We'll see what we can do.
Sounds good.
So if you like, what I can do is I can walk you through how solar works, see if there is a program that is good fit for you, and then give you an opportunity to qualify. And then we can take it from there.
That sounds good.
Perfect. All right. Let's see. And do you know about how much you are currently spending each month on electricity?
So I would say I pay about 250 a month.
Okay. So it's about 250. Let me see. If you do that, it's roughly almost like anywhere between like 28 to 3,000, right? Give or take.
Three
Let's see.
thousand a year.
It would
It's
be
a
like
lot of
about,
money.
yeah, yeah, it's about anywhere between because if you do 250 times 10, that's already 2,500. And then you got 2 more months. So yeah, you're looking at like about $3,000 about a year. Does that sound about right?
Yeah, I never think
Oh,
about how much. That's a lot of money in one year.
Okay. And you mentioned that you've been in the house for about five years,
We've been
give or
here for
take.
10 years.
Oh, for 10 years? Okay. And do you remember how much you were spending on electricity like 10 years ago when you first moved in?
We were spending about, I would say, 125 a month. 125. That was like average.
Okay. So it's gone up quite a bit over the last couple years. You noticed that.
Yeah, it's gone up a lot.
So 10 years ago, and this might seem a little bit funny to me a bit because I know that 10 years ago it had to be a lot less for sure. But if there was a way where you could lock your bill in, the utility company called you and said, "Hey, Mr. Rivera, we have this new program where you can lock in your bill. Just sign here, and your bill will stay at that 125 and never go up." That would have been pretty good program, right?
Yeah, that would be great.
Yeah, we probably wouldn't be talking about solar right now.
Nah, we wouldn't.
Yeah,
That would be
so I
sick.
could tell. So now you plan on sticking around because you mentioned that. So probably for the next 10 years or so.
Yeah,
Let's see.
I'm gonna be here for 10 years,
Okay.
probably.
Okay. And I don't know if you think that your bills are going to go up or go down, but you know, uh, I mean, do you think that they're going to go up or down?
Yeah, they probably never gonna go down. Probably gonna keep going up.
Yeah, and I kind of agree with you. I mean, based off of what we see here, it's definitely going to keep going up. But let's just say, for easy math, let's just say it stays the same. That's like saving $3,000. How do you feel about that number?
$3,000
Well, 3,000 times 10 because you said
times
10
10.
years. Yeah, so that's 30,000, really.
Ooh, $30,000.
Yeah, I mean, that's a lot of money right there. Also in the past 10 years, that if you would have had solar, you would have been saving, you would have had like about $30,000 basically put away. Um, let's see, could you think of anything that you would do with that $30,000 instead of your utility bill?
Wow. I think I would open up a record label.
Yeah, sounds about pretty creative and fun for sure. Let me see. So let's say I gave you that much money and you got to spend it on something fun or meaningful. What are you spending that money on? And you said there was a like a studio and whatnot. Is there anything else that you'd be interested in as well?
Well, I would like to go to Amsterdam
Okay.
with the family.
Okay. Let me see. And instead of just throwing the money away, you are just giving it to the utility. Just gone and never see it again. Burned.
That's crazy.
So, do you know how the utility actually bills you for the energy? Well, this charge right here is the amount of energy you actually used. And you can see it right there on the utility bill right there. Um, and, just for an example, if you were to go to a pizzeria and you made your order and it came out to like $40, and then, you get your statement, and when you go to pay, you see these extra charges and it's up to like $150. You know, would you let them get away with that?
Oh, heck no.
Right, right. But why do you let the utility company get away with that?
I don't know, man. I need to pay the bills, right?
Yeah, of course.
You just pay the bills. We don't want no outages.
Yeah, no, definitely. I mean, I completely can agree with that. So it's something that's a necessity. But what we've been seeing in the past few years, in the past few recent years, is that the utility bills are going up, and they're going in increments. I know that in 2019, they were like about in Florida was like 10%. Then in 2020, it had went up to like 12%, and now 2022, which was the previous year, went up 18%. So it's constantly rising. And, in all generality, in the last past year alone, it's gone up 40%.
40% in the last 4 years. That's
Yeah.
crazy.
So right now, as I mentioned earlier, that we do have several different programs for going solar. We have some that work with the county. We have several different ways. We also have some specific programs depending on your credit. Do you know maybe how your credit is? Or maybe your spouse? Is it pretty good?
I would say I have like 650 up.
Okay, awesome. Well, you may qualify for our best program. If your house qualifies, then the way that it works is that there's no upfront costs. And when I say no upfront costs, you mentioned if the system is too expensive, it may not work out. You may not want to move forward. So when I say no upfront costs, I actually mean no upfront costs. You're not going to come back and you know we dig you $500 for this or $200 for that. Literally, the permits, site survey, everything. There's literally no upfront costs on our programs. Okay.
Sounds good.
Now, the other great thing, and I like to mention this for sure, besides the no upfront costs, the tax credit incentives, which, reduce payments for the first 18 months, and this is going to give you the time to collect the tax credit. Do you know about the tax credit that's available for solar?
No, I don't
Okay.
know a lot about it.
Well, we'll talk more about that in a little bit. I'll explain how it works, but basically, there's a federal income tax available this year for homeowners that go solar. Now, do you know? I mean, do you or your spouse have taxable income?
Yeah,
Okay. And what did you let me see, claim last year total for household income? Was it above 80,000?
yeah, we earn about 120,000
Okay.
between
And
both of us.
okay. I'll go into detail on that in a bit. Okay.
Okay.
Now, number three, just pay monthly. After the first 18 months, you'll just continue to pay monthly. Just like you're paying monthly now, you're paying your electricity bill now. So you'd pay solar monthly, so that's not going to change. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Simple paying.
Okay. And the next thing is simple pricing. Remember, everything we looked at on your bill, well, that gets replaced with simple billing.
So no extra charges.
Correct. No extra charges. Basically, from the list that goes down, no upfront costs. You're getting that tax credit incentive, and all you would have to do is worry about the payments that are monthly payments, and then it gives you the simple pricing, and then so that your bill is locked in, right, the same every month. That would be, I mean, definitely nice, right? It would make you feel good.
That's perfect. So so it's not gonna be higher in the summer, lower in the midwinter.
Correct. Yeah, that's where you know how summer bills are kind of like higher than winter bills, or vice versa, depending on exactly what you're doing, right? But with this here, same every month, your bill will not change no matter if you're in the summer, the winter time, if you're using your AC, if you're turning on whatever you're doing, the bill's gonna stay the same.
Nice. I like it.
Okay. And the best part is it never goes. So each year your bill never goes up. Do you remember when I had asked you earlier that 10 years ago, if you were paying the 150 of the electricity bill, if you could have locked that in, that would have been pretty good, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
So now, I mean, even if solar is 250 right now, if that's the same as you are paying now, you'd still be winning, right?
Yeah,
Now I'm
absolutely.
glad to see, yeah, I'm glad you see that. Now, any questions that you may have this far?
No, not really. Everything's very
Okay.
clear.
Okay. So basically, there's no upfront costs. Small payments for 18 months for the tax credit gives you the time to catch up. Then just pay monthly. No more, the bills. No more electricity or electric bills. You are just paying a solar bill monthly, one price, same every month, and it never goes up. Do you know the difference between solar and net zero home?
No, I don't. What's the difference?
Well, let me walk you through the solar, and then I'll explain net zero home. So, solar isn't anything new. It's been around since the 70s. So with solar, you make a decision. You have solar panels installed, and then you wait. And as long as I'd say the salesman sized your system properly and the panels produce the amount of electricity that the company estimates, you use the same amount of energy this year as you did last year, then everything is good. But if
Okay.
any one of those, yeah, but if any one of those are off, and then you end up with a solar payment and an unexpected electric bill,
Hold
sometimes
on.
called a true up bill.
So if the salesperson didn't size my system properly, or the panels do not produce what they said they were going to produce, or if I don't use the same amount of energy as last year, then I'm going to have problems. Am I right?
Correct.
Okay, I see. So what's net zero?
So, well, net zero home, predictable usage, guaranteed production, home automation.
Oh, let's see.
Now, with this here, the predictable usage, a fully integrated system that shows you how much energy you are using and how much your solar system is producing. A smart thermometer that keeps your home at the exact temperature you want while automatically heating and cooling your home more efficiently. There is a touch screen that goes on your wall so you can see and control everything.
Let's see. It's
Now,
nice.
guaranteed production, yeah, the 25-year production guarantee, that guaranteed production with the net zero home, there is a 25-year production guarantee. Now, what does that mean? Any good company, reputable company, is going to have a warranty, right? Well, there's a difference between a warranty and a production guarantee. We are going to design the system based on your actual usage. But the example will be, well, yeah, the example will use some round numbers for simplicity. So let's say your system produces 10,000 kilowatts and you use 10,000 kilowatts. In that case, you don't pay for electric. But aside from me being a charming dude with a nice smile, cling, no, I'm just saying. I mean, how do you know that it goes to produce 10,000 kilowatts per year? You basically have to trust me. You don't really know how exactly it works.
Yeah, we don't
So
really know.
yeah. So what would happen if your system only produced 8,000 kilowatts when you use 10,000? What do you think would happen?
Think I will have to pay the utility company for those extra 2,000.
Well, let me see. Let me pull it up here for you. Yeah. So, well, you're going to get a bill from the electricity company for 2,000 kilowatts. So, what would you do in that situation? In a year from now, your system doesn't produce what the solar company estimated it would produce, and you would get a bill. What then?
We'll have to pay them, I guess.
Well, let me tell you how it works. In the solar industry, and then I'll tell you how the net zero method. With any regular solar company, you will call them up and tell them you got a bill and your system isn't producing. They will apologize and they will send someone out to check the system. Now, they will run some tests and say everything is working fine, but you still need to pay the electric bill, right? And
Yeah.
if you want, we can add panels and that will be at your expense. How would you feel about that?
I will not be very happy at all.
Yeah, so that is solar. Let me show you how the net zero method, you got a 25-year production guarantee. So we guarantee the 10,000 kilowatts. If our system only produces the eight, we're going to reimburse you for any lost energy that comes from the utility. And the second thing is we will get on your roof, test everything. And if everything looks great, we are going to have to add panels to produce the extra energy that you haven't been actually producing, but that would be zero cost for you. So there's no obligations or anything. We would take care of it, and
That's a big relief.
yeah, I mean, you won't have to pay this extra energy. We reimburse you for that, and we will add panels to the system if we need to. How does that feel?
I feel safe. I feel safe with net zero now.
And after 140,000 customers that we've helped out with solar, uh, that's a lot of production guarantee, right?
Yeah,
And
that is.
yeah, and we don't want to be coming back and paying people's bills, so we build in a buffer. On average, our systems actually produce 5 to 7% more than what we promised. So that gives you even more peace of mind. So there's a predictable usage guarantee production. And lastly, home automation. Net zero home means you also get home automation that makes your life a lot easier. A doorbell camera, smart hubs, sensors that detect motion, true smart home automation to make your life easier at no additional cost.
Nice.
So net zero home is predictable usage guarantee production and home automation. Any questions about anything so far?
No, not really. I fully
Okay.
understand.
Okay. And this might be a silly question, but if all three options cost the same, are you gonna choose like which one are you picking? Like the electric company, the generic solar, or net zero home?
Absolutely net zero home.
Okay. And
Makes
and
sense.
I'm just curious, but why though?
Because with net zero home you have a predictable usage. You know what you're using, so you don't surpass your energy usage. That way you don't have a double bill. And you have the home automation that you control the house. You have a smart house, and in case that the panels are not working right, you have the guaranteed production, which the company will replace the panels. So we're basically set.
Right, right. Now, uh, you can get solar and an alarm anywhere. The only partnership that offers net zero home is Freedom and Vivint. Now, so if you want predictable usage, guaranteed production, and home automation, they are the clear choice. Now, Vivint is the leader in home automation. You've probably seen their little orange signs on lawns around town. In my opinion, they're about 5 years ahead of the competition when it comes to home automation and integration. Now, Freedom Forever is one of the top residential installers in the US. They have been on the Inc. 500 list. Let me see for the best solar companies for the last 3 years running. They are a debt-free company, and they are also very financially stable and have a 50-year game plan for their business.
Wow.
Now, we also have a 99.7% customer satisfaction rating since 2019.
Wow.
Any questions so far?
No. Have any questions? We've been very clear.
Okay. Have you ever heard of the term net metering before? This system
No.
is going to produce 24 hours worth of electricity in about 5.5 hours when the sun is out, where you are at during the day.
I'm probably at work most of the time.
Okay. And so you're not even like at the house, or where do you think the extra electricity goes?
It goes back to the company, I guess.
That's correct. It goes back to the electric company and they sell it. Any idea of what businesses will pay during peak hours?
No, I have no idea.
Well, it's up to 35 cents. What else do you have? Let me see. Hold on. I messed up. I'm right there. Oh,
See
I
it.
gotta save it. Hold on.
Okay.
Any hold on. Any idea what businesses will pay during peak hours? Up to 35 cents. What else do we have? People who work from home, students. So there are millions of customers that the electricity company can sell the energy to. So what I want you to see is you are already paying for solar. You're just paying too much for it.
Wow.
So this happens every day and every night. Debit, credit, debit, credit. And then at the end of the month, when you get what's called a net metering statement from the utility company, and it looks like this. So this happens every day and every night. Debit, credit, debit, credit, debit, credit. And then at the end of the month, when you get what's called the net metering statement from the utility company, and it looks like this, It shows how much extra energy you sent them and how much you pulled back from the grid. So you see the little CR at the end? That means they owe you, and these credits roll over month to month. So usually in January, February, March, April, you are going to overproduce and build up credits. And then in the summer, you will likely use more than you produce. And then you go back to overproducing at the end of the year. It all nets out, and then you don't pay for electricity. Make sense?
Yeah, it makes sense.
So even if this works perfectly, you're still going to get a bill. The utility is going to ding you X amount of dollars monthly because remember that they own the power grid lines, like the lines, and they're your partner in this deal, right? So you're charging them up during the day, and you're running off them on a credit at night. It's kind of like they're a big battery, right? And if you didn't have them to do with it, you would actually have to buy your own batteries. You've probably heard of the Tesla batteries, and so for a house like this size, you may need like about 10 batteries and at 8 to 9 thousand a piece. So you're probably looking at 80 to 90,000 just for batteries. So instead of
Wow.
doing that, exactly, yeah. So instead of actually going that route, we're going to pay the $10 a month to connect to the grid. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that makes sense. We'll pay $10 a month instead of all that money for batteries.
Yeah, and typically around here, like a lot of customers will ask me here, like, how long is it going to last? Because I don't know about you, but I think it's a pretty fair deal. You
It
know, the
is.
utility is making, yeah, they're making money, right? But every time that we generate 1 kilowatt of energy, we get one credit. It's a 1 to 1.
Nice.
Yeah. So, well, it doesn't work like this for every utility and in every state. Not sure if you know the Utah, Arizona, California, Nevada, Texas, and some other states. When they generate 1 kilowatt, they get 0.85 credits or 0.75 or 6 or 0.65, which means that those people have a 15, they're buy like 15 to 35% of their power from the utility or buy 15 to 35% more panels to cover it.
Oh my God. It's crazy.
So now, across the country, utilities are changing how they, well, yeah, they're changing how they do their net metering or their net metering. Yeah, I gotta redo that shit. Fuck. All right. So across the country, utilities are changing how they do the net metering. Yeah, maldita sea. All right.
La última.
Hold
Dale.
on.
Una,
Hold on.
dos,
Yeah. So
tres. Dale.
across the yeah. Hold on. So across the country, utilities are changing how they do net metering. And as the window closes on how many people can go solar, they're sunsetting these credits down and actually start taking away some of the credits. Let that sink in. So the way it works is that anyone that already has solar or goes solar now gets a 20-year agreement with the utility that they can't change the taxes and can't change the 1 to 1 ratio, for the 1 kilowatt for the one credit. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
So essentially, you're getting grandfathered in, and if you'd like, what we could do is we could apply to see if your home qualifies, and that'll tell us one, how much funding is available, two, what you would monthly, well, not you, but what your monthly payment would be, because you're probably wondering what the cost is, right?
Right.
And lastly, most importantly, how much you are going to save. Would you like to do that?
Okay, no problem. Where do I sign?
Awesome. Just need your driver's license.
Ya.
Yo lo cagué como 50 veces.
Está bien, pero lo editamos. Perdón.
What I was trying to tell